I see you. Die hard. Trap. We gonna do this one the right way. We in here forever. Yeah. Die hard. Homie, die hard. You can check the swag, he the realest by far. Swimming in that blue and orange, he the lifeguard. Yeah, he been through pain, at least he got some nice scars. He can smell a trophy, yeah, you need it back to back. Represent himself, his own name is on his back. 10 toes down, try to stop him, he come back. Bandwagon hoppers, he will knock you off your tracks. You ain't saying nothing, Nero been here from the start. He been working in the lab to take his team and make it art. See him going over film to help him build and make him smart. He will tell you how he feels because he's real and he got heart. He will never fade away, he will never change his face. Everybody picking faves and he's feeling out of place. Cause he is for the team and he always rep the squad. Like that Christmas movie, he gon' always die hard. City on my back. They ask me what's my name and it's on my back. I'm just speaking facts. We got big dreams, we ain't looking back. We be really die hard, yeah, that's a fact. We be really die hard, ain't no going back. Make the whole crowd rise like a thermostat. Fourth quarter, I'm the killer that's gonna murder that.
What's good, guys? It's your boy Eru back again. Second time today with a pod today. So I have a new guest. We'll get into that in a second, man. But do you guys enjoy the intro? The intro is crazy, man. It's like a hit record. But anyway, let's get into it. This is my guy here. He's been on the show before. This is how I know. I know him from the D-Up podcast. He was actually doing audio podcasts through Lakai TV. He's actually doing hosting for their platform as well. I'll get into some more stuff, but I want to get him on the screen before I start talking about him here. But here he goes, Mr. Luis Balletta. What's good, my man?
How you doing? I love your intro.
I mean, it's like a hit record, man. I'm trying to figure out a way to cut it, to make it a little bit shorter, man. But I got to play the whole thing, man. People seem to like it.
I feel like I'm at Madison Square Garden.
No doubt. Yeah, man. So I'm happy to see you, man, because I know you got a lot of energy and stuff towards Julius and towards RJ and stuff like that.
Thank you.
We'll get into that, man. But I gotta big you up, man, because like I said, this is how I've seen you. I met you through he was doing Lakai stuff, and he was with the D-Up podcast. That's how we got to know each other. You've been very supportive of me, man. So I gotta light you up here, man. He's actually an actor, up and coming actor that I just saw him randomly at work on SVU, freaking Law and Order SVU the other day, man. So it was pretty awesome. This is all the things that he's been doing over the years, and he's just doing better and better stuff, man. So I can't wait to see how that unfolds as time goes on.
Thank you.
Definitely,
Thank
man.
you so much for that intro.
Yeah, no doubt. So what's going on, man? What's grinding your gears at the present moment when it comes to the New York Knicks?
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get on because I find myself arguing with Knicks fans, not even other fans. It's always the Knicks fans that I have to argue with.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm a diehard Knicks fan. It's just that personnel for me means a lot, I don't just root for that jersey or that logo. Sometimes they bring in some personnel that is not that they don't play two ways. And I'm not a big fan of guys that don't play two way because that doesn't represent what New York basketball is about. So people get upset if you don't like the guys on your own team and you express that. Knicks fans, I feel are more emotional than any other people. It's like, do you wear that Knicks logo, that badge, and kind of take things personal? And they're the smartest fans in the NBA for sure. I've been to all the arenas. MSG is the smartest group of fans in terms of calls and their reaction to calls. You get a good sense of which fans know what's going on. Like you go to Miami, they're the slowest fans in the world.
Yeah.
Like they know nothing about the game. And it's like an N1 goes in the basket and it doesn't count. Like they think it counts. And it's like 3 seconds after the whistle. So you get that feeling. And the Knicks fans are the smartest in the NBA. But when it comes to their team and talking about their team, and even amongst us, like fan to fan, sometimes it gets delusional.
Yeah.
And hope we get to talk about the two guys at the center of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just being a Knicks fan, walking out, if you have the nerve to wear Nick, like you said, the logo, you're gonna be attacked, or whatever, or you're gonna feel compelled, or somehow you're gonna be brought into some kind of conversation where you have to like fight for the death over whatever. I remember just recently Frank Ntilikina, how we used to battle with him about him. Now he's like 1 foot out the league, you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah, it's
I'm with
funny.
you though. I'm with you. I like like as far as the players on the roster, I don't like any of them actually. Maybe Brunson,
Yeah.
maybe Josh Hart. You know what I'm saying. But outside of that, like a lot of these guys don't really have that
Yeah.
that spark that prior teams had that we live off of. The
Yeah.
'90s Knicks and stuff like that. That's
Do
like
they get at you in the comments for saying anti-Knicks players things? Do they
all
get
the
at you?
time. All the time. I don't particularly like Mitchell Robinson. Everybody knows that about me. I don't like Mitchell Robinson, not necessarily by from the way that he plays, because the way that these guys play is necessary. They all have a job and it's necessary. But
Mhm.
he's not. People call him a beast. He's not a beast. Patrick Ewing is a beast. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Oakley was a beast.
Right.
Mason. Those guys were beasts. For Mitchell Robinson, for what he does, whatever, he's not a beast. He can't make a hook shot. There's a lot of things that he can't. He can't set a proper screen. Whatever. He can't. He doesn't really move anybody in the paint. So
Yeah.
that's my gripe with him.
And the first thing they're gonna say when they hear something like that, "Oh, you're a hater. You're not a Nick fan. You're a hater." And
Right.
it's so funny. It's been this way forever. And I think like it trickles. I'm telling you from the top down. I wish, obviously, I wish we had a different owner. That's besides the point, though.
Oh, what do you think about that though? Because people ask for a different owner.
Mhm.
Like which like how could we get out of that? Because it's really like he's just like it's kind of like a generational thing. It was passed down from his kids. That he's
Yeah.
from his father. He's gonna pass it down to his kids. So
Mhm.
how do we get out of that? Out of that situation.
Oh, man. Michael Jordan just sold his team. So maybe
Yeah.
we have to talk with Michael Jordan coming to New York. That's a dream right there. No, I don't know. I have no idea how this stuff works. This yeah, just like he's one of those pieces that just need to go.
Yeah.
Um, at least he's staying out of the way. At least that's all we know at our level. He's at least staying out of the way and letting Leon Rose do his thing. And Leon Rose has done some nice things, and he's made some blunders. The Knicks obviously can't pick very well, draft very well high. They draft very well low. Um, they might need some help in the staff, and but it doesn't look like James Dolan is selling majority anytime soon. So it's pointless to talk about it. But yeah, we need some help drafting high. We can't keep on doing this stuff with like Barrett and so on. We just can't do it.
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, I don't want to draft high anymore, man. Drafting high
Yeah,
means that we didn't win. We didn't win that year. So
that's right.
mhm. Well, what do you think about the Dallas thing? You saw Dallas tank their whole season just so we don't get their draft pick. So what do you
Yeah.
think about that situation?
Well, it made me very angry because number one, Kyrie didn't want to play in New York. He said that Durant didn't want to play in New York. So I have a thing against Kyrie already. And then Kyrie goes and demands a trade and goes to Dallas and tanks Dallas. And then we lose that pick. So obviously I'm upset. He's like a double whammy. RJ Barrett. Sorry, not RJ Barrett. Kyrie Irving. He's like a double whammy. So yeah, I'm definitely upset about that. I was looking forward to having a chance at some of these huge names coming up, but you know that's fine. I have other moves in common. I think the Knicks should hire me as their GM, but I have some really good ideas for the Knicks next year.
Okay. Well, we'll get into some next year stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we could tap into that because that draft pick, we still can get it actually. When it
Mhm.
comes to the lottery, if they move back, if somebody behind them moves up, they might move back, so we still might get that pick.
I saw that. I
Yeah,
saw that. There's like I forgot the chance. What's the chance like? It's like
it's
5%, 10%, something like that.
yeah, fractions of percents and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be wonderful to like kill Mark Cuban that way. That would be wonderful.
yeah,
But I do like that he's sitting home watching the Knicks' success right now.
yeah, absolutely.
He's always trolling the Knicks, and It's great. I hope we just win at least one round so these guys could take notice. And there's other reasons why I want to win one round too, and that's for next year. I just hope we can get somebody to come in and join this perfectly. It's perfectly set up for a number one, tier one scorer, two-way score to come and play.
Okay, so as far as the current roster, what are the guys that you're looking at that you feel like that you can put in a trade together to move these guys out to get that player?
Well, I'll tell you what I dream of. I hope that Barrett has enough value, and I hope that Randle. I know Randle has enough value, right? Number one, RJ Barrett, moving him, and you might have to pair him with assets and maybe one more player, and you can get someone that's a really good player like a DeMar DeRozan to come here and play. Who, listen, this team is missing that guy either in the playoffs or when there's 30 seconds, 24 seconds on the clock and you need a score or you're against the shot clock. They're missing that guy who can grab the ball and get you an easy score, right? Randle can't do it. I don't care what. Maybe he hit a winning shot against Miami. That's 1 out of 20 times. Randle can't do it. I don't care how much you love him. He can't do it. RJ Barrett, don't even go there. Right. The only guy who could possibly do it on a good basis is Jalen Brunson, but he's a little short. Right. So when he gets into the lane, if you notice at the end of games, they collapse in on him and he gets his shot blocked or it's altered. So he's a little small. So I'm talking a guy like 6'6"-ish, a guy who can raise up and shoot the jump shot or the three or go to the hole and plays defense. DeMar DeRozan. There's other guys in that the Knicks can go after and offer a young, because RJ is so young, you don't know how he's going to develop. From what we've seen, he's a little slow. He doesn't play defense, and sometimes his shot selection is horrible, and sometimes he's selfish. So I don't want him on the Knicks. I want to trade him, and that's the number one piece that I want to move for next year. And if Randle ever decides to play defense, I would keep him. If he decides to really focus in on rebounds and defense, man, with that body, I'll take a Randle. But I need him to be smarter and higher IQ, because let's just use the eye test here. He might be a plus 177, whatever he is, right? He's great in plus minus, right? But here's the thing. We see how good the Knicks play with him and without him. The Knicks play so much better of a brand of basketball without him. It's night and day. They play fast. The ball moves. It doesn't stop. And most importantly, you don't see guys standing around. It's the Melo effect. When Randle or Melo caught the ball back when, and when Randle catches the ball now, the same thing happens. Guys stand around and twiddle their thumbs. I don't like that. I don't like that for Knicks basketball, and it's going to affect certain guys. And I have some like fun info I'm going to drop on your show about someone that doesn't want to play on the Knicks, but I can't tell you the source, but I can tell you it's true. We have a great guy by the name of Quentin Grimes. He's going to be a future star. He wants out, and he wants out. Oh, he wants out. If I was him, I would want out too. Okay. Not because the Knicks are not great. The Knicks are great, but there's certain players that are selfish and stop the ball. Randle being one of them, right? If the ball is gonna consistently go to Randle, Brunson, Barrett, and I like it going to quickly, but you got all these guys that need to get up shots, right? Where does he lay in that? Quentin Grimes can shoot the hell out of the ball. He could shoot the three. He defends better than anyone on the Knicks. This is the guy you build the team around. You don't alienate this guy. So we have another reason why to ship Barrett and Randle. Now, I know all the Knicks fans will go crazy in the chat and say, oh, this guy's crazy. This guy's not, he's a hater, all this other stuff. Well, who would you want to build around? I want to build around Grimes, Brunson, who is the epitome of what a Knick is, Quickly, and Josh Hart. These are guys that are true New York Knicks. Okay? You take them. This is a beautiful young core. They're unselfish. They all play defense. They're all two-way players, right? And then you get in another guy. And now you're not talking about exit first or second round. Now you're talking about Eastern Conference Finals or possibly making the finals. And we are one step away.
I agree with that. I totally agree with everything that you said. This guy, Barrett, he gets the ball, he falls on the floor untouched. Sometimes, he gets all the way to the basket. He airballs layups. He's afraid of context at times. So we can't win games when we're hoping that a guy does something. The same thing with Julius. I'm in agreement with you as far as Julius. If Julius could be his role could be reduced, where he's not like the main guy going crazy trying to make stuff happen. If he could just stick into a role where he's just getting rebounds, he can score, but just not be that guy, then that's fine. So then that leaves that third person, which is RJ Barrett, like you said, where we have enough assets where we can put things together to get that guy to be that number one for us. And I agree with that. I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. There's quite a few players available too. Now I know you mentioned DeRozan. But this is like kind of far fetched, but Luka, he might be available.
Yeah, I put that in one of my videos. I said Luka will be alienated enough to ask for a trade, and then we bring him back with Brunson and with Brunson having the Villanova connection with Hart, and then on top of that, you got his previous connection with Luka. What more could you ask for?
Right. Yeah, I think that's what we're all asking for. One thing I want to bring up to you too, just because I know you're a big fan of the Knicks from way back and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back even further. This is like 50 years now, because it's been 50 years since the Knicks won their last championship. This is from 1970, man. So this picture here, as you can see, this is tradition. This is people make fun of the old guys. They don't have no muscle tone and that type of thing. But the concept is this is Knicks tradition. You want to talk about playing defense. You want to talk about moving the ball, hitting the open shot, being strong leaders and stuff like that, being unselfish, being men out there. This is the blueprint of what we're trying to do right now.
That's right.
And this not just this 5, because they had other guys off the bench too that did well. Even in 73, the next championship, they kind of revamped it and stuff, but it was still the same blueprint of guys that can do the two-way players, pass the ball, rebound. Everybody can score, everybody can shoot. But the main key thing is for everyone to be unselfish and play winning style of basketball.
I would just wish some of the bigger stars on the Knicks would buy into that. A couple of the guys we just mentioned, they just had 1/10 of what these guys have. Things would be a lot different.
Yeah, no doubt.
You sign a big contract and automatically you think you need a bigger share of the ball. It's kind of human nature, but it's Tom Thibodeau and the staff's management to go in and to tell these guys, listen, you go out there and you play team first, you pass first. If you don't have that, then take the shot. That's all they have to do. And if you don't do that, sit your ass down on the bench. That's it. And you got to be tough. So maybe a little bit falls on Tom Thibodeau. Maybe a little bit of it starts with him and discipline. But then you have to think, is he getting orders from the higher-ups, the agencies, the owners? Is he getting orders to keep those guys on the floor because of their bloated contracts, which makes no sense? It's an old New York problem. It's been happening forever. Those contracts dictate who gets the shares of shots. That's not right. And if you have that issue, you got to ship those players away. And Randle puts up great numbers, man. And I am not saying anything about that. I'm just talking about, the disciplined basketball structure in which you point to that those guys that you just had up on the screen had. It's the same structure that the 96 Knicks had. It's the same structure that those teams after the 96 Knicks had in the 90s, okay? I mean, you learn from history and you try and build on that. And there's no reason why the Knicks, out of all teams, shouldn't have the best two-way team-oriented players. We're halfway there. Finally, we're halfway there. It's just now we got to finish the job. And we're at a point right now. It's like we're about to play the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. We're about to play the Cleveland. Here's Donovan Mitchell, right? We're about to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, you're going to think I'm crazy, and all the Knicks fans will think I'm crazy. I'm sitting here thinking that we have a better shot if Randle sits out. The reason why? Why? Look at the way they play without him. Look at how quick, look at how easy the baskets are without him. They get out on the break. They're running. You see Obi jumping out there. You see guys on the fast break cutting and slashing, Hart Euro stepping. You got all these guys running. These are easy 2-point baskets off defensive stands, right? Those are big turnaround things, right? But then when we get into like the Randle offense, it's slow, drudged out, half court, guys standing around. Man, I mean, if we're gonna do this with the Cavaliers, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I am very scared with this matchup. I think the two teams are like 50-50. I think they're very evenly matched. The Knicks got the better half of them. But this is the playoffs, man. And I'm a little nervous seeing Randle's playoff history. And I'm definitely nervous seeing Barrett's playoff history. Two guys that can't go right. What does that do? Yeah. What? Two guys that can't get the shot off when the defense really plays defense.
Right.
This is scary. That's scary.
When the referee swallow out of the whistle, and then when the team defense is really keying in and isolating guys, putting them on islands, what are we going to do?
That's playoffs are a different ball game. All these guys play hard in the playoffs. And we've seen when that pressure is on the line, there's a couple guys that fold, right? I'll put my money without even seeing them. You watch, Jalen Brunson's going to have a stellar series. They can key in on him all they want. They ain't stopping Jalen Brunson. He's a dog's dog. He's a New York. He belongs here. You know, these guys, like you'll see Quickly flourish. He's a two-way player. You're going to see these guys flourish, the quick ones, right? Because everything's faster in the playoffs. Quentin Grimes, he's fast. RJ and Randle, they're slow.
Yeah. But one thing about the Knicks, though, they do have the ability to play many different styles.
Yeah, they do.
But it could be a positive. You know, we've been talking about that throughout the day. It could be a positive, but it could also be a negative too. You know, because we can get too loosey goosey with thinking that we can run and gun with certain guys when we don't really play that style. You know, against Cleveland, we can get into that mano a mano stuff with Donovan Mitchell, and that's not our style of game. We need to move, like you said, move the ball and stuff like that.
That's right.
I think that's going to be the issue there with Donovan Mitchell, because this guy Donovan Mitchell, I think that he's, you know, in order for Cleveland to win, I think he needs to get like 40 a night, you know, for them to really do anything against us. That's in my opinion. Yeah,
that's right, because they're only really solid 2 deep in terms of offensively. You know, they got Garland and him, right? That's their like 2 amazing options. You shut those guys, not you shut them, but you limit them, right? And the Knicks have the defense to limit them with their schemes and their bodies, and they match up well with Cleveland. Let's not lie; like they do match up well. They could limit them, but again, playoffs are a different animal. And let's see what style the Knicks choose. If they choose to slow it down and grind it out with these guys, or maybe they choose to run them over, you know, and maybe they choose to use their young legs and run. So I'm curious to see also what team they put out there. Like, is Randle going to play or not? I'm very, very, very curious. But if the Knicks, I will say this: if the ball movement is good, and the ball moves, Knicks win. If the ball doesn't move and it stops, we lose. Yeah. That's my prediction.
I'm in agreement with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we're talking about the offseason coming up, but this guy was the biggest topic of conversation last offseason. So I didn't get a chance to speak to you, man. So what did you think about all of that? Because with our assets, like we're saying, we're able to get anybody that we can get this next offseason. That was the case last offseason also. So do you think we should have gotten him, or what was your stance on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you get a talent like that, you go for it. It's a once in a lifetime chance to get a Donovan Mitchell. You go for it. I wanted him, but you know, the opposite take of that by Knicks fans is, hey, we kept all of our assets, and listen. If we don't get a great player this offseason, then with those assets, then it's kind of doesn't make a difference. It was a bad move. But yeah, I was really upset. That's my take on it. I was upset that we didn't get Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell, when you want to come here, he wanted to come here. That makes me want you more as a player. I wanted him because he wanted to be here. Unlike the Kyries, the Kevin Durant, he wanted to play here. Knicks messed that up. And that's, again, higher ups, management, doing the wrong thing, acting stupid.
Yeah, definitely. He said he actually was prepared to move. He was ready to go, and then he woke up from a nap or something like that. He said, "No, we're going to Cleveland." Did
That's
you remember
right.
that?
I saw that interview. I put that interview in a video, and I couldn't believe it. Like he said, my bags were packed. And yeah, that hurts, man. That hurts. So I hope he loses versus the Knicks this year, because then it makes us look a lot better.
Right. Well, like you were saying too, with the packaging RJ Barrett, that would have been the package. It would have been RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes more than likely would have been involved in it also. But
Mhm.
just in hindsight, just looking at the way the season
Yeah.
went, the way the Brunson's been playing, like wow, Julius Randle had a resurgence. So adding Julius this guy Donovan Mitchell to the group. And then knowing that you have other guys like Cam Reddish that was here before, and then the option to trade for Josh
Yeah.
Hart and that type of thing. Let's say if we got the Josh Hart trade along with getting Donovan Mitchell and stuff
Whew.
like that, how good would he have been?
Eastern Conference Finals possible.
Yeah,
Eastern Conference Finals possible. Yeah, you either be playing the Celtics or the Bucks,
yeah,
and yeah, I mean that's a twofold win. Why? You lose Barrett, that's a plus, and you add Donovan Mitchell, a plus. So you're going two pluses, right? And you're kind of now subtracting some shots from Randle, which is a good thing, right? You're taking away shots. The ball is going to be in Mitchell's hands a lot, right? So you're taking that away. It's Brunson and Mitchell having the ball in their hands. So you take it away from Randle, which is great. Randle concentrates more on rebounds, and hopefully you would think more on defense, but you never know. And then you have that team right there that we are fantasizing about. Forget it. You have that team for the next 5 years. They're going to the Eastern Conference Finals 5 years in a row.
yeah. That window. That's all you need is 5 years. Even the Knicks, all their championship runs are all 5-year runs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And that's all you ask for. That's all you want. You want a team to be young and good for 5 years, or peak good for 5 years.
yeah.
And they had that opportunity, man. But you can't look back. I mean, everything gets erased if they do beat the Cavs, because that means they beat the Cavs and they have their assets, right? Those are two positives that we can have.
One guy. I know you mentioned 6'6" guy. One guy that jumps out like crazy is the guy in Boston, Jaylen Brown. He's been in trade rumors every year, every trade deadline. He's always in the trade deadline, and he gets pissed off. He lets them know to listen. I'm always in a trade rumor, and the guys are always about to move me for somebody. You almost moved me for Durant. Like, what the hell is going on here? And the key with him is that he doesn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he's a free agent, not next season, but the year after. So that becomes an issue too. Like, are you going to be able to resign him? They didn't offer him an extension.
I didn't know that. They didn't offer him an extension?
No, he's the only one in his group that didn't get an extension.
Man, oh man. So that means he's available.
Yes.
And then, you kind of need an under the table agreement with him that he's going to stay.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, God, you throw DeMar DeRozan right out the door if you can get Jaylen Brown.
Right.
As a guy that can make his own shot, younger, getting there, peak now. I don't know how old he is, but I know he's not old. And yeah,
about the same, like 25-ish, around there, 26, 27, something like that.
Yeah, and he's been there before, like he has experience. So man, that would be absolutely amazing. I mean, obviously he's above Donovan, he's above DeMar DeRozan for me. For a pick, right? By the way, you went to Luka. I love Luka, but there's one thing he doesn't do. He doesn't play defense. So you got to keep that you got to also accept that if you're getting Luka. Like, is that worth it? I don't know. I'm not a GM. I don't know. I don't know the analytics of having Luka and not having him. I don't know.
He's also not in great shape either, man. He walks around with like fluffy. He's like 20% body fat out there,
I don't know how these guys get away with it. You're making $30 million a year, 30, whatever he's making, probably more. I wouldn't have I wouldn't have a percent of body fat. I'm making that money. No way. No damn way. I can't believe it. Yeah, he gets a little rolly sometimes for a basketball player.
Yeah. We talked about it in the last pod. He's in the off season. He's out there smoking and hanging out, in Europe doing their thing. The way that
Yeah.
they party out there. You know what I'm saying?
The European lazy way. I know.
Yeah, those guys are crazy, man. Yeah, man. So I mean, we're definitely knocking on the door as far as that. But something else I wanted to ask you about the roster and the team and stuff.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Let's say like let me just shout out to some guys because everybody's here talking here in
Sure.
the chat. So let me just say what's up to certain people. We got
Sure.
the Brew Crew. I don't know if you know these guys. They do the Knicks Morning Brew. They
No.
popped in for the second time today.
No.
A
Cool.
couple other people here. You got Pudge Nice is here.
Cool.
Trav B. This guy is the one that made the theme song.
Get out of here. Really? He did a good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a theme song or you're looking for
Yeah.
anything, creative like that, hit this guy
Yeah.
up, man. He's
Yeah.
excellent.
Send me that link. Send me on Instagram.
No doubt, no doubt. Shout out to the rest of the chat too, Harlem CEO. Just want to shout out to this is Knicks fans Brazil, man. You want to talk about fans around the world? Knicks fan Brazil. He does a Knicks fan, podcast from Brazil. And he does it in Portuguese. So he's
Wow.
crazy.
Wow. They're all over. I think the Knicks fans aren't we the biggest fan base in the NBA right now. Number one and number two is the Lakers. No.
Yeah, it might be the biggest fan base in the world.
Yeah, that's
Outside of like those soccer teams, like
Mhm.
like in Europe, whatever they are. The Knicks are probably like the top 5 or so in the whole world in all
That's
sports.
right. Yeah, that's right. They're worth the most, and they have the biggest fan base.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you have going on, man? You're also doing some basketball stuff on YouTube as well. Explain that stuff.
I just write these YouTube videos for companies that contract me out to do their biographical stuff on players or make a story, baseball, football, and now basketball. The company opened a basketball channel, NBA Gems, and I write their videos, and I try to like what we're talking about right now. I try and write about the storylines, the drama, rather than the heavy analytic statistical garbage that is boring. I like to write as a soap opera, like the NBA soap opera. So yeah, I touched on like the Kyrie thing, talked about his history and of ruining teams, and I actually did a Knicks video, which was really good, and it talked about how good they were going to be possibly this year, but what's going to happen in the offseason. I touched on one guy that we didn't mention that I talked about in the video was Joel Embiid, and how he's in Philly and he's so close, and there's a big possibility. There's rumors that there's mutual interest, and logistically it's not a big move for him, and we know Harden wants out, right? So if the 76ers, they don't go far in the playoffs and their team breaks up, there's a very high chance that Joel Embiid comes to the Knicks. That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, well, it's not like a secret because these guys they're on the bench like this, talking to each other like that.
Yeah,
I've never seen that during shoot arounds and stuff like that. When he played Philly, they're sitting at the bench talking to each other. I've never seen that before.
I know. There's some fracture in that team, man. It's waiting. Doc Rivers, and it's really, there's a lot of turmoil, and you have to say like they're probably not going to win. It's going to be the Celtics or Bucks. You can't say the 76ers are going to get there. So something's going to happen this offseason. And I call him, I think in the video I call him, I say like, we're going to have Patrick Ewing on steroids. If he comes to the Knicks, man, it'll be a whole different ball game.
Do you think he's that good though? And B, do you think he's because the one thing about him is the mental thing. Sometimes he got caught crying a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. So do you think he's that guy?
I don't have a problem with him with like that. I think he's very emotional, and I kind of like that he wanted to win that bad, so he cried. I'm a big Joel Embiid fan, man. I think this is the reason. I picture him on the Knicks, and I picture Tom Thibodeau coaching him, which is I think it'll be a tougher Joel, and you add those MVP numbers to the Knicks roster, and it's certainly it's alluring it doesn't automatically put the Knicks into the finals conversation. At least it does automatically. Comes here with the team now. You're in the finals conversation. That's how quick it can be.
No doubt about it.
Oh,
But,
and one more guy I want to mention. Can I just mention one more guy? Like,
sure,
this
sure.
is my dream scenario. I know. So I've been to the Garden a million times, right? And I hear the crowd's reaction to certain players. I've never heard a crowd love an opposing player more than Giannis Antetokounmpo, however you pronounce his name. So I had to put him in the video because, I mean, there's no one hoping more than Milwaukee getting upset in like the first or second round. It's not going to happen. But let's just say that's like my dream scenario. If you ask me, who do I dream coming here? It's Giannis, because he fits the New York culture the best. And him over here would be Derek Jeter here. His charisma, his attitude, right? Like, he would be Derek Jeter #2. And man, would he fit perfect. And he's being hidden right now in Milwaukee. He can literally make 2 times as much money off the court in New York, right? So, he's a businessman too. He wants, he loves the game. That's number 1, 2, and 3. He loves the game. He doesn't want to fraternize with other players. I love that about him. He fits the New York culture really well. And yeah, I just have to put that out there. The Knicks the crowd loves him the most. I've heard everyone get cheered outside of the game. When they get taken out in the substitutions, there's no other cheer higher decimal level than when Giannis gets taken out of the game. I just wanted to tell you guys that. And
you
so
know
the
why?
crowd would love him.
You know why?
What is that? Why?
Real recognizes real. That's New York.
Yes. Yeah. I was trying to say, like, there's not a better fit.
Mhm.
There's not a better fit. The guy's an animal, and he wants to play. Like, if he just wanted to play here just a little bit, just reach out to him. And man, there's no one rooting for the Bucks to fail more than me.
Yeah. But via trade, that would be so tough, man, to trade that guy. Because I mean, you want to talk about top 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
There's no American player really out there. I'm gonna say Jaylen Brown. Outside of that, there's no really American player here. As far as Europe and around the world, he's literally like top 5, top 3 player in the entire world. So it'll be so far fetched to move him. But like you said, if they do start to like lose in the playoffs and whatever, as time goes on, it gets closer and closer to him being to free agency.
Yeah.
You don't want to get to free agency and then lose him for nothing. So then
That's
you get
right.
into those conversations.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why you stay in Milwaukee is you're winning championships. That's the only reason why you stay there.
Yeah, it's not the beer.
Yeah, it's not. It's
not the
there's nothing going on in Milwaukee. I can
Yeah.
assure you that. But damn, yeah, that's my dream, and it should be. I feel like it should be every Knicks fan's dream, man. That's like it. I'll give up every asset we have. I'll give up everything. I will trade the logo for you, Giannis. I'll trade the logo.
No doubt about that.
Anything for a championship. Listen, I'm all in for the championship.
Well, we were going to talk about some media stuff, man. So I have this posted. I'm waiting to just like have one of my typical like diehard rants about this guy Stephen A. Smith. Did you see this particular video?
No, can you play it?
I'll let me take it off.
Or just talk to me about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because if I play it, I think you might have that feedback issue.
Okay, let me say something to my fellow Knicks fans. What is he saying?
Well, he's basically just saying that you can't tell him nothing because he's from New York. He's been through this, that, and the other. Then he goes on to talk about guys from like 30 years ago, like like the 90s teams. He started talking about those kind of guys. But he doesn't talk about anything else but that. And he has himself on a high horse. He's talking about Spike Lee and the orange and blue skies, and just in the caricature way that he speaks, the stuff that he does. It drives me crazy because like listening to you speak, I can hear you. I can listen to you speak all day long, man.
Nice.
The reason why is because you're speaking from your heart and from a real place. This guy is not speaking from anything real at all, and he's from New York. He's from Hollis, Queens, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? But he's not like heart and soul, like a Giannis. Giannis is not from here. But real recognizes the real.
Right. Yeah. Stephen A. I think he's one of these guys that's like polluted by the media and narrative and ESPN, and he's polluted. So there's not going to be much realness coming out of him. There's too much. He's too entangled in everything. Yeah. His rants are. Yeah, I can't take it either.
Yeah, I blocked him on Twitter, man. I think that's the first thing I did when I started my Twitter handle for this account, man. That's the first thing I did is I blocked him, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, here's another guy too. This is Richard Jefferson. This is everybody's. I think we have a love and hate relationship with this guy. Nothing that he says really is too bad, but it's just that he used to play for New Jersey, so we have that kindred brother, little brother, big brother kind of fight thing going on.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this one.
Yeah.
I listen. I get what he says though sometimes, because Knicks fans, like I just told you, there is some Knicks fans that are just like too emotionally in their feelings because the guys in a Knicks jersey and you're bringing them down or whatever. It doesn't mean that you're not a Knicks fan or like the Knicks are somewhat horrible. It just means that we're telling the truth, and then I get where he comes from too, because he also sees like Knicks fans, they get happy. Like we all are guilty of this. They start winning 6, 7 in a row, and all of a sudden, this is the year we're going to win the championship, right? So he kind of sees that craziness in the Knicks fans, and so do I. Like you got to be realistic about your team, all right? I'll tell you right now, as a Knicks fan, I'm telling you guys right now, decide to keep Randle, decide to do that. You will not win. You ain't gonna win with him as your number 2 or number 1 option. Just ain't happening. Just ain't happening. But like your casual Knicks fan will really believe, because he's wearing the Knicks jersey, Randle is a Knick, right? Because the GM picked Randle, all of a sudden Randle's the next second coming. And we're going to go far with Randle in the playoffs. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
So, like, I think what Richard likes to point out is that sort of thing. And I see it too. Like, I do. I see it too. It's like there's like this delusion that happens. And we got to be willing to step back as fans and just be like, hey, it is what it is. Try to picture this guy without the Knicks uniform on. Try to, because eventually he's going to go somewhere else, and then you're going to see him for what he really is, right? So I've been a Knicks fan long enough to see guys come and go and be detached emotionally and say, like, this guy's not a Knick. He's wearing the uniform, but he ain't no New York Knick.
Yeah.
Any guy who puts on that Knicks uniform and doesn't play defense, I'm not cheering for him. I'm sorry. I'm yelling at my TV, get this effing guy off the team. I don't go with that. I'm not for that. That's not what I like the Knicks in the 90s for. Sorry. You don't play defense, you don't have a spot on my team. And as a fan. And yeah. So yeah, going back to Richard, yeah, he's a troll, he's a hater, he's all this, but there is some truth to some of the stuff that he says.
Yeah, definitely. Everything that you said there, it brings up Frank Ntilikina. Even in the beginning of the season, I don't know if you ever been on Twitter Spaces. You ever been on Twitter Spaces?
No.
I haven't been on Twitter. I was on it when it first started because it was new. Everybody's trying it out, but I banned myself from Twitter Spaces because I invited too many people to the hot dog stand. I don't know if you know that reference.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I invited like 4 or 5 people to the hot dog stand. So I mean, if I'm getting to that point where I'm getting that mad at somebody over an RJ take, they're telling me, "Oh, how could you like that?" What you just said. How dare you talk badly about RJ? Blah blah blah. He's 21 and this that, and the other. Yeah, the only thing that I could say is, invite them to the hot dog stand. That's the only thing that I could say.
It's crazy to me, man. It's just really, really crazy. Oh, I think you should want to win over defending the Knicks logo. The Knicks logo, it's just blue and orange. That's it. You're just rooting for guys the GM picked. You didn't pick them, right? So, if they don't fit, if you're a real New York fan and you really respect New York's history in the basketball, then you should want players that uphold that standard, right? I don't care if they're 21 or if they're 35. They should play 2 ways. You're making millions of dollars. What are you doing taking possessions off? Okay. I know guys I play pickup with that don't take possessions off. And you know what they're making? 0.
Yeah. They got to go to work
Okay?
tomorrow.
Yeah, they got to go to work, and they don't take possessions off. I'll
Right.
jump on the floor for a loose ball and risk my knees and my elbows, and I'm not getting paid $1. So, like, yeah, it does bother me when guys don't play two ways. So, man, if you want a championship, go study history. The best champions are all defensive teams. Look at their ratings. Go, you analytics buffs. Go look at analytics. Go look at the best teams who've won championships. The teams that go deepest in the playoffs have the best. The ones that go furthest in the playoffs have the best defenses. So if you're anti that and your guys on your team are not congruent with that style, then you just don't want a championship. You want to root for a logo and your damn team more than you want a championship. So you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, they're basically groupies.
Yeah, it's like grow
groupies.
up. Grow up. It's usually like these young snotty nosed fans at the casuals. They haven't seen anything. And they're like, yeah. They jump at you in the comment section. Oh, you're just a hater. No, I watch the games. That's what I do. I watch. I'm not a hater. I watch. I watch pretty closely. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. That youth is wasted on the young, is what they say. You know what I'm saying? And then having the wisdom of being older, it's wasted on us too, because we got all this knowledge and wisdom, but now we're old now. So it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying. So just to transition into that, this guy here, Charles Barkley, we have a love-hate relationship with this guy based on his fights with Oakley back in the days and Ewing.
Yeah.
This is the history that we know. It's in our soul. Yeah, but the thing about him now is that he watches the game subjectively now. So in this clip here, he talks about the playoffs and that the Knicks in the Eastern Conference against the Cavaliers is the only thing worth watching. He said don't waste your electricity basically on any other series. Just tune into the Knicks versus Cavaliers, because that's what the basketball is. The real basketball is.
True that.
Yeah.
True that. Man, true that. I seriously, like, if there's going to be any real basketball being played, it's there. There's going to be an exciting series with the Grizzlies and the Lakers, but I would say I think it's I myself would pick Cavs and Knicks. Man, that's blockbuster, man. And even just the storylines alone, that's good enough.
No doubt.
Storylines alone, there is 100% prime time. If you like basketball and you know basketball, this is perfect. Two heavyweights, two evenly matched teams, 50-50. There should be no point spread. It should be 0. It should be even. It's whoever has more heart is going to win the series. That's it. Heart and hustle. Who's going to want to run for the loose balls and rebounds the most? That's it.
And who's going to get on the floor? Is going to get those floor burns, those type of things like that. Who's going to really risk it all for this basketball game here that we're playing?
That's right. That's who's going to win. That's who's going to win the series. And I'm really hoping the Knicks get out of the first round.
Yeah, man. So we came across a threshold. I know you said you had to get up out of here, but we had a good talk, man. I was trying to get most of the points out of you, and you're fantastic as always.
Thank you.
When you pop on here, I don't know why that you don't come on more often. So
I'd love to.
I gotta start looking for you. Yeah. So
I would love to. I would love to. And then every so often we gotta get a fan in here that calls us some names, and then we gotta combat them. We gotta go head to head in live. I like that conflict. I like it.
Listen, if you want to smoke, I know there's quite a few of them that I could put on here.
I'll go head to head, talk with them, and if we want some analytics and stats, we could go there. But it would be so fun. I love talking to you because we're very similar in the way we think, and it's very interesting to see. Like, there's some real fans out there that are detached from all the media narrative and hype and all that garbage. And it's good that you have like this independent show that shows the real serious Knicks fans point of view.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I always say, like I've been saying throughout the episode, just real recognizes real. I made my podcast for a reason, diehard Knicks fans. So like people that find me, they look at their diehard fans, so they're gonna be looking for, when they see it, they'll be gravitated to it. They're gonna put me to the test. Is he a diehard fan for real? And then once they come in, they'll know for sure that yes, this guy's This guy's a diehard fan. He's crazy.
For sure, you are. You're the right type of diehard fan. Thank God.
Well, are you going to be watching these games? Are you going to any of the games or anything?
No, I'm not going. It'd get me too nervous when I go there. I'm gonna watch from home. I shout, I sweat. I am watching. I'm like in the game. I'm yelling at Randle. I'm like, get this mother whatever off the court. I'm so angry when I watch, man. I'm so angry. So I can't go to those games. But I'm gonna be watching. Are you gonna be watching from home?
Well, no, I'll be going to a fan event on for Game 4. I wanted tickets for Game 4, so that was more important to me. A lot of people had events for Game 3, but Game 4 to me is more important because it could be a closeout game. It could be an important, possibly swing game to push the momentum ahead, that type of thing. So I wanted to be be there for that. So we'll be in a suite, a luxury suite type of thing.
Amazing.
So, yeah, so we'll
that's
have
gonna
more
be
room
great.
to move and stuff.
That's a dream right there. I can only hope that you're at that game and the Knicks are up 3-0. Man, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
The garden, man. The garden.
Yeah.
My God. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the place is going to be electric. That place will be electric. I'm very jealous. Very jealous.
There'll be no place in the world to be than the garden right there if it's a 3-0 situation. Oh, my goodness.
Nope. I'm telling you, I've been to all the arenas. There is nothing like the New York Knicks arena. There is nothing like it. Diehard fans, like your podcast, Diehard Knicks, just real, smart diehard fans. Yeah,
no doubt about it. All right, man. So I'm gonna let you go, man. This is Luis Balletta, man. One of my favorite guys. I don't know why I don't talk. I need like an intern or something like that. To help me out to get when I'm like in my little rut working, doing my regular life stuff. I need somebody to help me. Listen, man, hit Luis up. There you go.
Do it. Let's do it. Let's get one. Let's do one in the playoff, like during when the Knicks are say up 3-1 or 3-2. We can do one. You know what I mean? If it's 2-2, if it's the series is tied 2-2, let's do one.
All right, no doubt. So gotta write that down.
All right,
put that in stone. The contract is signed and stuff like that. So
okay, let's go, Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. Let's do it.
No doubt. So shout out to the chat. Quite a few people popped in here today. So, trying to get the ball rolling up. I got to get the numbers back up to the way they were because I screwed my own algorithms this year, fooling around and stuff.
Yeah,
but we got to get the algorithms popping back again, get everybody more involved again, and then just make this into like a very special time because this is the best time to be a Knicks fan right now.
That's right.
Everything is right in our faces. We can almost touch it and taste it, man. So anyway, without further ado, thank you, Luis, for popping in. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys enjoyed Luis. And we're out of here, man.
All right, guys. Bye, fans. And bye, my man, Eru.
No doubt.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Eru, I see you. Die hard. Trap. We gonna do this one the right way. We in here forever. Die hard, homie, die hard. You can check the swag, he the realest by far. Swimming in that blue and orange, he the lifeguard. Yeah, he been through pain, at least he got some nice scars. He can smell a trophy, yeah, you need it back to back. Represent himself, his own name is on his back. 10 toes down, try to stop him, he come back. Bandwagon hoppers, he will knock you off your tracks. You ain't saying nothing, Nero been here from the start. He been working in the lab to take his team and make it art. See him going over film to help him build and make him smart. He will tell you how he feels because he's real and he got heart. He will never fade away, he will never change his face. Everybody picking faves and he's feeling out of place. Cause he is for the team and he always rep the squad. Like that Christmas movie, he gon' always die hard. City on my back. They ask me what's my name and it is on my back. I'm just speaking facts. We got big dreams, we ain't looking back.